Hey guys, it's Cayley. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. If you are new, my name is Cayley. Nice to meet you. I am a reseller of used clothing and I sell on sites like eBay and Poshmark. One of the main purposes of my channel is to come on and educate you guys and make it easier for you to make daily consistent sales, and I try to do this in a very informative way. So I thought it might be fun if I started a new series that basically went over keywords and things that you can put in your titles that make a big difference. Now, some of these words I learned along the way, some I found by researching garments that I had in my hand and I just didn't know what to call them. And so I'm coming to you today with some of the ones that I've learned along the way. Like I said, I might start doing a series maybe once a week on this. Drop a comment down below if that would be helpful to you. All right, so I'm going to share 5 today. The first one is called bishop sleeves. So right now, a big trend is really puffy, different style sleeves, and people are just looking for interesting sleeves that are out of the norm. Bishop sleeves definitely fall within this category, and I'm going to read the definition of a bishop sleeve to you and also put some photos up here for you to know what I'm talking about. So according to Google, a bishop sleeve is a long sleeve that is gathered at the bottom with a button cuff, slit and facing. So I'll drop some pictures or maybe a screen roll here, but basically it is a very puffy sleeve, but it comes puffy at the end of the garment towards the cuff. This I find is most popular in office wear, career wear. A lot of women like wearing blouses with this bishop sleeve. It's kind of flowy and it has an interesting look without being too uncomfortable. Next is one that I've talked about actually quite often, but I don't think I've ever gone into really thorough detail about it, and that is log and look. And you may have heard this term come up several times from other resellers, but I want to explain exactly what log and look is and give you a couple different pictures up here for you to reference. So log and look is basically explained and spelled out as a layering look. That's essentially what it means. So within this look, you're going to see a lot of layers, a lot of oversized things, loose fitted, flowy. And not always, but oftentimes I find that log and look styles have more of a minimalistic approach and they use very neutral colors. They might also use fabrics like linens, cottons, some of the more natural materials. Again, that's not always, but that is just a trend that I've been noticing in log and look clothing. So log and look is spelled Lagenlook, and if you have a log and look looking piece, I would say definitely put that in your title. That is a popular search term right now. Next is whiskering, and this refers mainly to denim or jeans. When I do a quick Google search, the definition is whiskering refers to thin fading lines formed from creases that are usually found on the front pocket area of jeans. So you'll see a lot of modern jean brands using this trend intentionally, meaning that the fading did not come from where it was actually manufactured that way. And a lot of people are looking for this whiskering trend, and I actually see it on almost all jeans that are being manufactured today. I'll pop up a couple pictures here, but you yourself might even have a few that have whiskering on your jeans. So if you're looking for some keywords to describe that kind of wash on your jeans, whiskering is definitely a great keyword to put in your titles. Okay, the next word is Chanel, and I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. It might be Chanel. But it's spelled Chenille, and this is most commonly referred to in sweaters. So just again with a quick Google search, it's described as a tufted, velvety cord or yarn used for trimming furniture and making carpets and clothing. So in terms of clothing, it's definitely a velvet-like texture, but imagine if little strings of velvet were woven together to make a sweater. That is how Chanel looks. And I love wearing these types of sweaters, and I know other people do too. So whenever I have a sweater in that fabric, I make sure and put it in my title. I'll pop up a couple pictures here of close-ups and zoomed out so you can kind of see what fabric I'm talking about. And then last keyword I wanted to mention is retro. And I feel like a lot of people know what this keyword is, but they might be using it wrong. So retro is defined as imitative of a style, fashion, or design from the recent past. And then other people also describe it as vintage inspired. And I feel like a lot of people are using the word retro to mean vintage, and vintage is not the same as retro. So whenever you have something that looks vintage or has a vintage style or feel vintage, but it's not actually vintage, meaning it's not that old, you're going to want to use the term retro instead, and that means vintage inspired without actually being that old. A lot of modern brands are making retro looking pieces, so that's why I bring this up. Make sure that you are checking the tag dating and making sure that it isn't a modern style that needs to use the word retro versus vintage. All right, guys, so that is it for all of the keywords today. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Again, drop a comment down below if you'd like to have a series on this and something that we get into every week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.